Welcome and thank you, everyone. It's wonderful to see so many people joining in. It's Tammy Lynn, your Aurora Network host, and just taking a moment and allowing our Galactic family, Ascended Masters, Angelic, your guidance, Spirit, just the highest unified consciousness of light, just allowing that all to stream in and join us here and now. As I take a moment to reflect with you and put a big shout out of gratitude to so many of you who joined today to co-create in a magnificent hangout that we held in Zoom. So thank you to the Aurora Network members who joined in. It truly was a celebratory moment of occasion, of sharing, diving deep into exploration, and really tapping into the root of consciousness awakening. And I'm going to bring forward some of what streamed through. So just give me a moment. These energies are getting really vibrant, really high. And you, everyone who's participating, even if you're observing now, in your now moment, whenever that is, know that it is your light, your consciousness that's streaming and co-creating with this. So just taking a moment, taking a nice deep breath, and just going to invite everyone, as we did earlier, just to get centered. Coming more deeply into the presence and the presence of you, into that I am presence. Coming to that still point, that 0 point. That wonderful unified field of creation where we're going to tap into limitless potential, and that limitless potential is you. And we're going to explore the mysteries of you. Tapping into the consciousness of awakening and the discovery that you, together, are the hottest commodity sought after on this planet right now. How does that feel? How does it feel to know, to come into that awareness, to come into that awakening that we are energy? We are the energy light source that is being sought after right now and always has been. And we hold that infinite power and that potential into each of us. And when we bring that energy together and we connect and we sync up and we link up into that unified field of consciousness, into consciousness that's outside of us, that's streaming in and through us, through that central source, staying in the column, into the pillar of your own light, staying centered, balanced, in the now. You wield so much power from this space. Much is being revealed. And this is the great unveiling, and the greater reveal is the awareness that you, yourself, are not powerless, that you have choice. You've always had choice. And from the highest perspective, free will choice is honored. You need to call it in, call in the supports, call in guidance if you require it. Be in that still point. Be ready to listen, to receive, and to perceive outside of that which is showing up, playing outside of you. There's an infinite potential of creation here. And everyone in a free world of free will, there's infinite possibilities. And we know right now that we want to anchor in. We really want to anchor into our light stream. We want to anchor in to more of the truth, more of the true source light that is you. That 0 point, that unified field with those stargates opening up, giving you access to more light. Many of you, and we've been talking about that, have been really feeling, you've been really experiencing the upliftment, the signals of bliss, anticipation, exhilaration, unleashing your creativity. And in that experiencing of you, we want to let you know that that is occurring as a result of the light that we are all, you here now, are anchoring. And you have a whole array of galactic support, your family, your familiar, and you from those higher perspectives. You from that multidimensional perspective. You are a light body. You're a light body, and you've never not been a light body. You're a light body holding physical form, streaming a light beam of consciousness from outside being the outside of the perceivable, the illusionary world that is an experiential world with an infinite array of experiences playing out. And what we want to call out, the call out to action, is love. And empowering you to recognize that you are not powerless. You are not enslaved. You have choice. You have dominion along with this earth. And when you light up, and when you connect, and when you stay centered, and when you stay balanced, and when you stay focused in the now, that's where true existence resides. From a higher multidimensional perspective, outside of the now, see, your light body doesn't care about the past. It's not concerned about the future. It knows that it exists here in the now and in the present moment. That's where all your power is. And that's what's been streaming through to you to awaken in you that cellular memory. We are awakening on a grander scale. More than ever is being activated in us. The power that we wield and we hold as light, as energy. And when we come together and we unite and we come out of separation from source, out of separation from divine self, back into the sacred, back into the divinity of who we are, when we come out of perceivable separation from one another, when we begin to make peace and balance with the shadow and the light, no matter how that shadow is showing up to you, it is a mirror of you. And it is playing out on the grander, bigger stage, offering you, lending you support. You get to choose, am I going to or am I going to light this firecracker up and see what mastery is really made of, knowing that within me, I've overcome tremendous adversity. Within me, I have access to soul knowing. I have access to something far greater, something far more tangible and real than anything else, something that cannot be corrupted, something that cannot be distorted, something that cannot be siphoned off of when we stay in that higher field of light, however that plays out for you. This is what we want to awaken our brothers and sisters through, a stream of light. We also want to respect that everyone is doing themselves perfectly. Their soul is leading them, navigating them through labyrinth, through initiations, through tests, through whatever it is to bring them up into higher growth. And we have to honor that. That's sacred. That's always been how sacred it is. So yes, we explore, we're aware, and with awareness comes power. It's the unaware that is lacking that insight. But we have that. When we awaken into awareness, when we have that awareness in our consciousness, then it's a question of, what do I do with this? What do I choose to do with this? Where do I choose to focus and channel my energy when I know it's my light, when I know it's my energy that's sought after? What am I going to give my attention to? What are my intentions right now, here? What do I choose to create? And on a human level, we don't like that stillness. We really struggle with getting still and getting present with self, because that brings up a whole array of feelings. And many of those feelings haven't been really genuinely felt, explored, and sat with. Those feelings are energy. And they have the power to create or destroy. And you get to choose what you want to do with the energy that you are experiencing, that is coming up in you. We talked about today, we explored anger. A lot of people experiencing their own anger. What is triggering them? How sadness, grief, loss. With that, for some comes anger. All the judgments that we've placed on feelings, on emotions. I can't be angry. I can't be sad. Sadness means this, means that. And now, as we awaken to remembering, oh my gosh, I need to feel this, and that's okay. It's an energy. And as I sit with it and I get still and I allow it to teach me and show me what it has to share, it begins to dissolve. And it begins to dissolve into more creational light. And it gets filtered through a higher consciousness. And we allow ourselves to ebb and flow, and we give up the resistance. And many have recognized through this awakening, through this grand awakening process, that many are continuing that, looking outside. Who else can I awaken? Awaken yourself. Awaken to the mysteries of you. There's so much more. There's so much more to tap into, to ignite. This is the mastery levels of a lifetime. And we are right here in this together, allowing everyone to have their own experience. I'm receiving that from the Galactic Federation. Okay, the Council of the World, humanism, they say, life, light, energy. You know, we're learning about how we have to honor and respect all, recognizing that the biggest part of this awakening is the realization that there's no separation, and through no separation, we are all. So that means having to bring all that awareness in and sit with it. If we want peace, we make peace with it. Mother Teresa said, don't invite me to a war rally, an anti-war rally. Invite me to a peace rally. See, we have to flip this from a higher perspective, from the higher consciousness perspective, it becomes really easy to create in the new. We're visionaries. It's imagination. We're the Magi nation. We drop down into imagination and we come into the innocence of exploration. And we let go of our attachments and our belief systems to the right, the wrong, whose side to take. We come out of separation with all of it. We acknowledge that we are the whole of all creation. And out of that blooms a magnificent garden, because we get to decide what we want to plant. We get to decide what we want to seed. We get to decide through imagination what we're creating. Your brothers and sisters, your neighbors, are maybe living an entirely different experience than you. Make peace with that. And some of your brothers and your sisters and neighbors are living an entirely different experience than you, and it's of a higher level of discernment, and they're living joy, and they're finding sustainable light growth in everything that they do because they're focused. They're in the stream of the now. See, we're going to refer to the now so much because right now, more than ever, coming into the awareness that when you can generate that much power, when you have that much power, and you have free will choice, and your authentic, integral self is guiding you through your heart, and you're linked up with a mind coherence, and you're in synergetic flow and harmony with all life, all sentient life, completely out of separation. This is what occurs when you're present in the now. And you can bring yourself to that point in any given now moment. So when you are here, given the choice to choose, when you know that the light that you hold is the change, is the game changer, that will unveil, reveal more and more and more of that which has been created, of the fifth dimension and higher, and it can become more and more beautiful, then we invite you to expand from there. Expand that light. See, we as the human resources have always been around the idea of lack. Okay, so coming out of lack, coming out of the notion of limitation, it's limitless. Okay, so that stream is always filling that chalice, that life force, that energy. You can give that away. You can expand that out, and you can share that everywhere. You can build that up. You can fuel that up. You can fire that up in you, and then come into your imagination, because in the light body existence of imagination, from the vantage point of creation, it doesn't know. It doesn't know. It's the human that wants to see it to believe it. But it's knowing that as a creator, okay? So we're seeding this. These are the ascension light body codes, creational codes. We're just knocking them out. And your soul knows this is meant to activate the DNA, okay? The cellular memory structure inside of you. All right? Your consciousness is inside of you. Everything that you need, all the answers that you seek, your soul map, your star map that's unique to you. Your guiding light and lantern is inside of you. And you can communicate. You know what? You are magnificent transmitters and receivers. You can communicate, and that's what we're discovering in this still point of the now. It's not about being off in our dream time, sleep time, where we're most active. We can be active in the still point of the perceivable awakening moment, just simply being that life force, that light force, that your brothers, your sisters, that this planet is like anchoring more into their immunity, into, and it's giving them immunity. And you too. And you too. Through your consciousness, you have the ability programmed inside of you, just as nature does, for survival. Coming out of the notion of victimhood, coming out of the notionhood of having to survive, you're thriving. You have an organic life organism, a system. It's time to tap in to all those who have been bathing our planet with this consciousness of awareness, okay, and pull up all that information that's out there and really start honing your remembrance of who you are and coming into even greater mastery. Because your soul thrives on this, loves challenge. And these tests are about coming back into the purity and the wholeness and the remembering that all that exists is truly love. Love it all and forgive it. Forgive yourself. Separation's over. We're not talking hierarchy, okay? That which you speak out to is an echo of yourself resounding back to you. Galactic brothers and sisters, family, you, many mirrors, the contact that you're going to be receiving, and we're going to talk a whole lot about contact coming through now. The contact that's occurring right here, right now, is a reveal of you. You unveiling yourself to you. That's how powerful you are. This is about empowering you through the awakening that's occurring right now. No matter what level you're at, you are doing you perfectly. And out of struggle, this is occurring because we grow through struggle. We grow. We have shown that historically. We have chosen that as a model, of self-expansion. But we can also choose to step into that pillar, into the now moment. And when we're there, and when we remove the distractions, because that's what's coming up, distractions. There's truth in all of it. And it's been hidden in plain view. And now it's getting even more present in your awareness. And having that awareness means tremendous responsibility is given back to you. What will you choose to do with it? Will you wait for someone to rescue you? Will you see yourself as lesser than? Will you stay in separation? In an old collapsing belief system that there's a hierarchy, that you're galactic angelic family, that the elements of this earth, that the mother, that the nature is greater than, is a life force, a consciousness that is separate from you. If you wait, you will be in that feedback loop, waiting for a very long time. While the choice that's in the now is that the home that you seek and have sought outside of you is present, and that current of energy is growing, a life force that's tangible and real. And there are so many of us linking up and syncing up and connecting and already experiencing that. And we invite you, we being your soul, we being you know what we're talking about. It's that next level. And no one gets it wrong. And no one fails. No one. No one. Those are just beliefs. Those are just distortions. Those are just programs. Those are just judgments. That's just us looking outside of ourselves rather than inside of ourselves. Right here, right now, as a conduit of the stream that's coming through, that's channeling through, I'm called forward to say that we are at a precipice. We are at a point of a timeline. Everyone is creating their own. What do you want to experience? Listen to nature. Go still. Many are awakening to the awareness right now more than ever. The mastery level game is played in stillness. There's a call to action in love, into going still and listening. There's a signal of knowing that transmits out of that. When it's time when all that creation, all that imagination, all that transpired in that place of stillness that you might think is inactivity is high level activity, but not from the human perspective of doing. So when all that creation gets that signal to birth it out into the world, that's when it's brought forward, but not a moment sooner, because there's always a divine plan. And sometimes in those timelines, it takes a while for other things to align and find itself right here. And that's that peak moment. So there's an ebb and a flow, and we get to know that. We begin to anchor that in. We begin to just work. And it's work from a place that does not take greater or energy resource from us. It actually feeds us. It feeds us a tangible, expansive, light energy. Everything right now is light, sound, sacred geometry, and consciousness. It's all streaming in the now. And then there's that moment, there's that receiving. It's a knowing when I need to receive to fill back up. Because of everything I've given through the creational moment and the experience and the expansion into that, it's time to receive. And yes, we are receiving. Your cells are receiving everything that they need. We can feed it. We feed it through the thoughts we hold. We have to really examine the beliefs that we hold. We can be very high verbal at saying what we would or we wouldn't do. But we have to really explore the backdrop of that. All the hidden parables of what those beliefs truly are. And that's what's coming up to be dissolved when we're feeling certain energies. Anger can move mountains when it's channeled with the highest perceptibility of emotional intelligence and awareness. We're going to give you young Tammy here, walks through the house, and she will actually call out what. Now, she doesn't get too caught up in it, which we observe. Again, do you see you're talking all the time? It's a continual stream. You're just, all of a sudden, you're just right locked in. It's there. Everybody that's been seeking that moment for themselves, seeking outside themselves, we get wired and fired to our own intel. And that intel links up to, like, it's beyond, it's above what's playing out on the world stage. So that's where you're not even having the same experiences. You're not holding the same perceptions. And you're able to hold that light. You're able to hold that, anchor that, and stream that in. And that's information. That is intelligent information. That light source. The sound, the silence, the stillness has such a voice to it. So some of what came through today was just looking at reacquainting ourselves with creation, with the power, with the ability to choose to expand. So when we talked about the human, and again, when we refer to human, that's not a separation. That's not a lesser than. That's not a hierarchy. The beauty is the realization that I am a light body in a human form. And I am so much more, and I'm powerful. I'm holding gravity. I'm tapping into higher streams of consciousness. I am the highest light commodity, the energy, the life force that gives life to everything. I'm breathing through the ethers. I am co-creating, I'm expanding, I am creating worlds outside of the vision of the world everything is opening up. That's Stargate. And yes, those would like to close it down. But that light keeps rising because why? Because we choose to come out of the sense of lack and limitation that I somehow have to covet this. I can't give it away. You expand that. You grow that. If that's what you've got, if that's what others want, give it to them. Blast it out there. Expand it. See what comes back to you. The abundance is huge. You will feel it in your cells. We're going to talk a lot about, in fact, I'm going to be doing tomorrow, going to be doing a lot of talk about and working with genetic consciousness and exploring DNA, looking at the grassroots, the truth of who we are and what we are and how powerful we are. So just bringing through the messages that have been streaming through. There's a lot of sound, there's a lot of chaos, there's a lot of distraction, there's a lot of distortion, there's a lot of truth. It's a matter of what truth do you want to tap into? You're only going to find it here. And once you come into that space, once you come into that unified field of life force energy streaming through you, you drop down into the sacred divine sanctity of your own heart. You come into the portal that gives you access to everything. Back to sublime creation. Back to true light source. And you just link up and you sync up and you sit there. And you sit in the stillness and you sit in the uncomfortability of what comes up. And it requires commitment. It requires tremendous commitment. It requires showing up. But you're showing up for you. You're showing up for you. And in the showing up for you, all facets and aspects of you show up. Integrating into the wholeness and expanding the consciousness of who you are. Back into the truth, back into the purity of what you are. You are the hottest commodity sought after. Share the wealth of your light. Expand that out. That's your choice. That is your choice, and that's your prescription. And that's your inoculation of vaccine, whatever you want to call it. That's it. You hold. You hold. You wield all that power. Just by simply centering. And you can come down off the mountain. And you can walk. And you can be present in the company of others. Allowing them to have their experiences. Letting them play out their realities of choice. Because their soul is not abandoning them. See, when it comes to timelines, when it comes to, you've put so much out there. It's there. It's there now. It's here. It's here waiting for you. It doesn't go anywhere. In fact, you add to it. It's a choice of what you're going to align with. The alignment comes inside of you. So that's what's streaming through. I want to thank my galactic family, my brothers and sisters. I want to thank you, my co-creators. I want to thank this unified field of consciousness, the streaming light. It's just growing, more palpable, more tangible. I mean, we are the change. You know, we are it. We are the creators. Okay? So wield your power. Grow your light. Expand it into you and let it serve you. And in the serving of you, there too goes the service of the whole of all, because you are all of it. You are all of it. And no matter what you choose and whatever you decide is right for you, I honor that. I respect that. I celebrate that. I give joy to that. I lend my light to that. And I won't be distracted by that. And for those that want to have a choice, that are not quite aware that they have the ability to choose for themselves, I'm going to hold that pillar of light. And I know that if it's meant to be, that aspect of me is going to be brought before me, that I'll be in the highest balanced, most centered space, and so will you. That's what we want to activate in you. We want to activate in you the remembrance of how to serve. Serving through energy, serving through love, acceptance, expanding worlds, creating through imagination. Because imagination, we don't need to see it to believe it. We know it exists from the moment, because imagination is not a separate thought. If you can imagine it, it exists. You can't make thought up. It's an energy. And it is an existence. So this is a lot to digest, to let sink in and think in. And this is what we invite you to do. Knowing that all the energies that are joining together now, all that you're receiving, is bathing you. Just let it do. Just let it be. Just let it flow. Just let it sink in, think in. Allow it to trigger you. Allow it to create curiosity and exploration into the mysteries of you. Perhaps you want to test it out. Perhaps you'll want to take a nice few deep breaths. Just come into the still point of your own awareness. Come into that center field of consciousness and sit and be with you. Questions that come up, know that there's answers, because there's an answer to every question that comes up. It's already been answered. Listen for it. Be patient. Love one another. Stay in love. And know that you are powerful creators. And it's always a question of what do I want to create next? Do I want to play in what is, what appears to be what is? Or do I want to step into the mastery, the truth of my own origins, of who I am and what I now have access to? And do I want to step into that because the waiting is over from the minute I take that first step? The minute I commit, so much opens up. And the awareness just expands. And you keep coming back and you keep letting what needs to filter out be filtered out, shown to you. Then it gets to the point where you love the tests because you know you're not going to fail. Those tests are just designed to bring more purity back into the love creation that you are. Because you're not going to bring the old. That doesn't get to go. You know why it doesn't get to go? Because the dimensions, dimensional realms through the DNA, the strands of awakened DNA, dimensions exist through frequency, energy, which you are. Your light, sound, energy, sacred geometry, and consciousness. And you are in light body, in a physical form that isn't limitless. And that's what's been awakened on this planet. And that's what's got the hives buzzing, the stingers out, all right? That's what makes you so powerful. Come there, come here, come home. So we thank you for tuning in. We thank you for listening. We thank you for this co-creation. We thank you for this collaboration. We thank you for this wonderful experience. We thank you for honoring us as we honor you. A coming together where there's no hierarchy, there's no separation. That which you seek is sought after inside of you. Go there. We love you so much. Stay in love. Stay centered, grounded. Seek out other high vibrational contact sources of communication. Seek it from telepathic receivership when you're holding that frequency. Seek it from mother light bodies in physical form, those that you are attracted to, those that you resonate with, those that you feel called to. Everything will show up for you that you need. Commit. Commit to the grandest unveiling and reveal of all times that is happening with the mastery, through the mastery ascension codes of you. All my love, thank you. It's been an honor. It's been an honor as Tammy Lynn McGinnis to be your Aurora Network host. All my love, and until next time,